Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi
Saya dah 22 tahun baru saya follow Perhimpunan Agung UMNO.
Don't worry, that is only tactical, okay?
Were you surprised?
No, not quite, because I know Anwar has been speaking to everybody, including Najib, because that is his way of operating. He talks to everybody, but what he says, the results of his talk is not quite the same as what actually happened.
But yet you agreed for Anwar to be nominated as Prime Minister.
One has to be pragmatic. I knew that when we formed Bersatu, there is no way Bersatu can win the election. It has to work with the opposition parties. All those opposition parties were against me. But I've decided that as between the opposition parties and Najib, the greater danger comes from Najib. So for practical purpose, I have to work with the opposition, and that includes Anwar. I know Anwar is regarded as the leader of the opposition. If you don't accept him, the opposition will not work with you. So for practical purposes, I decided that I would work with the opposition headed by Anwar. And I agreed that after I stepped down, Anwar should be the Prime Minister.
Mm-hmm. But it did not happen.
It did not happen because things changed. I would have stepped down after the meeting, APEC meeting. I would have stepped down. And I didn't give the date, but I said after that. Najib also is caught. If he doesn't support Muhyiddin loses his position, Najib also loses his position. So he had no choice. He has to support Muhyiddin. If he doesn't support, then Muhyiddin's government will collapse and he will be out of the government. Of course, this is not what he wants to do. He is still hoping that somehow or other he can pressure Muhyiddin into helping him escape from being jailed.
Zahid has approached Muhyiddin just a few days after Muhyiddin took the Prime Minister's vote. And he came with his file, and this is something that Zahid did not deny.
Well, long before that, Zahid did come to see me with the same papers, telling me that he is innocent, that he wants to show the papers to me about how he is innocent. My response was that, don't tell me, go to the courts. If you are innocent, the court will decide. So that was my stand. And I think Muhyiddin's stand is practically the same, because if he is seen to be favoring all these people who are known to have done criminal acts, then he will be in great trouble. You see, for example, some of the others might pull out. If they pull out, he will collapse. So he doesn't want to help them. At the same time, he needs their help. On the other hand, they too needs his help. So it is mutual, because without Muhyiddin being in the government, the hope that Zahid has of being released, Najib of being pardoned, will be gone.
But that is why the emergency was there, isn't it? Because that gives Muhyiddin the power to say no to them and yet remain in power.
Yeah, but when Muhyiddin asked for the emergency, he didn't say that it is because I might collapse. What he says was that it is about COVID-19. That's a lie, because COVID-19 can be managed under existing laws. There is no need for an emergency, but he made use of COVID-19 pandemic to help to demand that there should be an emergency. can make criticisms outside, but when he goes to Parliament, he will have the support. This has happened several times, including the budget and subsequent laws and all that. When you go to Parliament, you cannot expect Najib to vote against Muhyiddin, because he knows you vote against Muhyiddin, you are voting against yourself. He wants to show that he is strong. There are UMNO people who still support him strongly. He claims that 140 divisions of UMNO are behind him. Maybe that is true, but he talks as if he is free. But go to Parliament, he is not free.
So you don't think Najib has a future politically?
Najib thinks that he can, if he is pardoned, he can become Prime Minister again. That is his aim. But at this moment, he cannot get enough support to overthrow Muhyiddin. So he will always, in Parliament, he will give the support. Outside, he will appear to be against Muhyiddin. Any ruling bloc that includes Najib will be bad, because this man has been known to be a criminal, stealing huge sums of money, money laundering and all kinds of, and he has been found guilty of 7 charges, sentenced to 12 years jail. Actually, the sentence was for 50 over years jail. It was reduced to 12 years. So you don't want to have a criminal like that who is pardoned through political pressure to become the Prime Minister again. He stole money, not $1 or $2, billions of dollars, and openly, practically committed crimes with the knowledge of the whole world. The whole world condemned this country. From being an Asian tiger, we descended to become a kleptocracy, a country ruled by thieves. That is what happened when Najib became Prime Minister.
You see Anwar and Najib's scam coming together after the elections?
Well, they may try, but I don't think it will work, because even the two of them cannot form sufficient majority.
Anwar will have, say, maybe 80 plus seats under Pakatan Harapan, and maybe Najib will get his UMNO seats, and they could form a majority.
I don't think so. I feel, I have my doubts, because even though some in DAP are quite willing to work with UMNO, but with UMNO, not with Najib. Najib is not joining him because he loves Muhyiddin. He joins him because he wants to be in the government. The only way he can be in the government is to bring down Pakatan Harapan, form a new coalition where he is a member, and that coalition will rule this country. And he has achieved that objective. Muhyiddin may have other ideas, Azmin may have other ideas, but for Najib, the most important thing is that I should not be in the opposition. I must be a part of the government, because as a part of the government, I can get released from all this trial. Azmin invited me for his son's wedding, so I went, and he made a speech, friendly speech, mentioning me and all that. So although he was in PKR, I felt that Azmin is different from the others. He's willing to be reconciled. Well, I feel very unhappy because of what he did. His role in the formation of this, the Muhyiddin's coalition. You see, it is obvious that he, Hamza, and Muhyiddin plotted this thing.
But it was to stop Anwar, basically, right?
Yeah, for him, he left PKR because of Anwar. But Bersatu left Pakatan Harapan because of this idea of forming a new government with a new prime minister.